Good evening and welcome to Guiseley AFC Radio. Tonight we are at the Horsefall. It's the Crunch derby between Park Avenue and the Lions in a game that really means an awful lot for both sides given their respective places in the league and given that thanks to Guiseley's fine form they are now knocking at the door of those playoff spaces, and in fact if you knock at the door of the playoff spaces you're knocking at the door of the top spot at the moment because things are so tight up there. So tonight an incredibly important Conference North fixture, and we are looking forward to bringing you the full match commentary of this evening's encounter. I'm Colin Robertson, and alongside me tonight is Nick Keefe. Evening, Nick. You're looking forward to this one?
I am, yeah. It's my first time behind glass here at Horsefall. It's quite a surreal experience, and we're just to set the scene. We're stood behind a sort of a breakfast bar at the moment, and looking out over the pitch, and like we're commentating on the American football on Fox Sport or something. So it's a new experience for me. We're out there. It's going to be a new experience for one or two of the Guiseley lads tonight because the lineups had to change. We'll talk about that in a few minutes' time. But there's one or two out, and there's one or two come in. We're not quite sure how they're going to line up just yet, but it's a bit like Saturday was. It's an interesting barometer to compare back to the last time Guiseley played Bradford Park Avenue. Two non-successes in quite close proximity a little while ago, and then a bit of a gap in between where Guiseley have been on great form. And it'll be interesting to use that as another good comparison. See what Mark Bauer's been doing in the meantime.
Well, it is a fantastic comparison, isn't it? Because the game against Boston was that real opportunity for Mark really to dust off the cobwebs of that game against the Pilgrims earlier on in his first game in charge, in which he played for the most part of that particular match. He would have been delighted with that victory on Saturday, and it was a well-earned victory, wasn't it? As well, from the reports I gather, because I was obviously dressed up in lederhosen walking around the streets of Bristol at the time, but from the reports I gather, this is true.
Where did that come from? Okay.
But from the reports I gather, Guiseley were well-deserved victors on Saturday.
Well, yeah, it was the classic game of two halves. In the first, Guiseley dominated, and to be honest, they deserved to be more than one up at half-time, is the truth. But having got in at 1-0, then Boston threw everything at them in the second half, and they brought on some giants, and they put centre-backs forward and really chased the game, and it was all the football cliches of all hands to the pumps and backs against the wall kind of defending. But they saw it through, and that's a huge confidence boost. Another one, but this time to see a 1-0 victory out like that when just a couple of months previously they lost so limply in the second half at York Street that. It was a good way to finish the game.
Yeah, it was men against boys at York Street. It really was. It was a very comprehensive victory for Boston. So a real delight to see the result and listen to the last 20 minutes or so as Guiseley held on against Boston as they threw everything but the kitchen sink at them.
That's another good one.
Another one to get in there. Really, it just keeps this fine league and trophy form going. But it can't go on forever, can it?
Well, I suppose not. Realistically, it won't. But the way that the centre-back pairing that we've had recently has been playing, they've had all of these strikers in their pockets with no difficulty whatsoever. The duo, of course, of Adam Lockwood and Danny Hall recently too. You almost looked at it and thought, well, that could perhaps go on almost indefinitely, and there would be no reason to expect that to change. But of course tonight, we've already hinted at, and we'll talk about, that defensive partnership has changed, and someone new comes in potentially to the back four, and if the run is going to be broken, maybe that's the time it's going to happen.
Yeah, well, we'll come to the team news very shortly. Just first, before we get there, let's just listen to what Mark Bauer had to say after the game against Boston United when he spoke to Nick Keefe.
Joined now by Guiseley manager Mark Bauer after Guiseley's 1-0 home victory against Boston, and quite a game that turned out to be in the second half, Mark.
Yeah, well, I think it's certainly a game of two halves. I thought in the first half we were by far the better team, passed it much better than them, and created a few decent, very good chances really. If we'd have come in 2-0 up, which I think we deserved, could have made the second half a little bit easier when they put us under pressure.
Well, yeah, and in the second half in particular, we saw all sorts of Boston throwing all men forward and bringing on some tall guys and lots of different stuff for your defenders to look at. You're pretty happy with how they held out there?
I thought they defended magnificently. Yeah, we were just struggling to keep the ball when we had it, which invited a lot of pressure on ourselves. But defensively, I think we restricted them to one real clear-cut chance, and at the other end, we had plenty of chances ourselves really to wrap it up and probably put a fair scoreline on it. But I thought that defensively, second half we were fantastic. Defended everything that they threw at us. Like you say, it was a real aerial bombardment. We're probably giving away a few inches to a fair few of their players, but Danny Hall, Lockwood, Reese and the Oldsworth were winning everything that they threw at us, so it was really a pleasing win. They're a terrific side. Said leading up to the game that they do mix it well, they try and pass it, but they have got that physical side to the game as well, so to beat them, keep another clean sheet, we're absolutely delighted.
Yeah, you said before the game this would be an interesting barometer to compare back to the last time we played Boston, and so as you reflect back on the game now, what do you think are the things that have most changed in that time in between?
I think we can keep the ball better. I think we've got more players in the side that could score goals. Defensively, we look a lot more solid. People know that their roles now that we've been working on over the spell that I've been in charge. And we've got a fully fit squad to choose from, with the exception of Danny Ellis. And everyone's desperate to play well for us and keep their shirt with good competition for place in the squad. So all around, we're really pleased with where we are. Winning again certainly breeds confidence. So we'll take the 3 points today and another clean sheet, and we'll look to go to Park Avenue on Monday and try and do the same to them.
Yeah, so not much turnaround between now and a Monday game. I mean, what happens in between now? Is it just a case of giving everyone the Sunday to relax and then pick the same guys again, or do you think you need some changes?
Well, we've asked the lads to just to look after themselves best they can. If there are any bumps and bruises, they're in there now. Seeing Martin, so we'll see how they feel tomorrow when the lads wake up. You can often wake up on Sunday with a bit of a campaign from a Saturday game, which would wear off during the week for another Saturday game. But with a quick turnaround on Monday, we'll just speak to the lads over the weekend, see how they are, and hopefully we'll have the same pool to pick from. We're probably going to be without Jack Ray, looking at what he's done, and but fingers crossed that'll be the only one that we'll have to do without.
Great, so 3 hard-earned points done, and another game to come in 48 hours. Thanks, Mark.
Cheers, mate.
Nick Keefe there talking to Mark Bauer after Saturday's fine 1-0 victory over Boston United. Let's just now, you can probably hear as the referee is calling the players out of the changing rooms that we are heading towards kick-off. So let's just now bring you the team news of the two sides. Just 1 to 11 for Bradford Park Avenue. It's a strong side. John Lamb, Jamie Price, James Knowles, Richard Marshall, Adam Clayton, Nicky Boschel, Chris Howarth, Nathan Hott, Alex Davison, Jordan Deasy and Paul Walker. And on the bench for them, Jason St Just, Tom Corner, Scott Maxfield, Charlie Clamp and George Grayson. And for Guiseley this evening, and the home side's team sheet has misspelt the name, which is always an interesting one. It's Stephen Drench, and here, listen to some of the changes that come through here. Andy Holdsworth, Reese Maynell, Ben Parker, Jake Lawler, Danny Hall, Wayne Brooksby, Danny Boschel, Alex Johnson, Danny Forrest, Gavin Rothery, and on the bench, Kyle Harrison, Michael Potts, Craig Hobson, Louis Swain and Steve Dickinson. So the big names that aren't in the side tonight, Jack Ray and of course Lockwood, and Adam Lockwood is going to be a huge miss at centre-half this evening.
Oh, enormous, yeah. He's been invaluable since he came into the team, and it sounds like a really unlucky injury. I think it's just a gash, a cut, I think maybe near his heel or his Achilles. So just a really frustrating one that's put him out tonight. Of course, Jack Ray got injured in the last couple of moments of the game on Saturday, and he had to go off right at the very end of that game. Not quite sure what's up with him, but obviously he's been the perfect foil for Danny Boschel in midfield since Danny Boschel came back, and the two of them complement each other perfectly. So we're not quite sure how it's going to line up tonight so far. There's not two obvious centre backs necessarily. I guess you'd assume it would be Jake Lawler and Danny Hall at the back, but I don't know about Ben Parker as a central midfielder, so maybe it'll be more creative than that. But whoever's in there with Danny Boschel needs to be mobile and needs to be getting about and doing a lot of that snapping and busy work that Jack Ray's been doing so well.
Yeah, two very influential players. Because it's the first time, I think, that we've had a real change to the starting lineup since we went on that very good run.
Yeah, Mark's been keen to keep with a winning formula, hasn't he? He's aware that he's got a strong bench. He knows he's got talent on the substitutes bench and lads who are desperate to play. But he's set his stall out and said, once I've got a team that's winning, I'm going to keep them together for as long as I possibly can. And tonight he's had to change it. He's going to give a couple of guys a chance. Ben Parker, we know he's quality, and he played 90 minutes 6 days ago against Selby in the County Cup. Obviously, Jake Lawler was doing well in the centre of defence until the new signings came in. So you'd assume that there's not too much damage there. But both of those players are wanting to be getting first team football and have been used to getting it, and so they will be out to impress tonight.
Stern test then for the manager this evening, because the expectation is rising at Guiseley as the longer this unbeaten run goes on. The victory against Halifax just 8 days ago was impressive, but there was no pressure on him. Nobody expected anything to come back from the Shea that afternoon, but this evening the expectation will be much more on Guiseley to come away with 3 points, and with the first challenges to the starting lineup and not having a full starting 11 that Mark Bauer would have hoped for. This is a tough test.
Well, yeah, we've said that winning breeds confidence, but what it also does is it raises expectation, and the Guiseley fans are used to seeing their team winning now, and they're used to seeing them hold out against conceding any goals at all. That does mean when the slip up does come, it will come as a bit of a shock. And I guess if it were tonight, or if it were to be Saturday, or whenever it comes, the question then is how does this young manager that we've got pick his lads back up and say, carry on doing what you've been doing and don't hit panic. In the meantime, of course, everybody's looking at the top end of the table, and we're only a few points away from it now, and people are sort of looking at the table and looking at the fixtures and thinking maybe 3-4 more wins and we'd be right up there in the mix. And I think Mark Bauer will be saying, take it a game at a time, and we'll just see how long we can keep this run going.
Well, two teams are now out onto the pitch. The referee has just lined up the two players, and they've done the usual handshake routine this evening. Referee is Neil Sharp. We have Craig Dean and Paul Stalker as the two assistants this evening. It's a very mild evening, Nick. It's perfect conditions, really, for a game of football. Cool, but not too cold. I'm not quite sure what the pitch is like to play on this evening. It does. It looks a lot better than it has been in previous seasons, though.
Yeah, it's certainly not in the state that we've seen it once or twice in the past, is it? It's a bit like when we went to Halifax the other week. Really, it's good to see that they've got the worst of it under control. I think that they were maybe considering a pitch inspection earlier today, but it looks fine to play on. We'll see soon in the game, though, what it's like for passing football.
Well, there's going to be a minute's applause or silence, so we will just bring you that. And as you can see, a well-observed minute's applause there, presumably for Nelson Mandela, as has been going on up and down the country since the sad news last week. And there's a good crowd now into the stadium here, as we just await for kick-off. The two captains currently talking to the referee and getting ready to decide who's going to win the toss of the coin, and who will kick off each which way. The Lions will line up in an all-yellow kit tonight, while Bradford Park Avenue, very familiar, all green. And The looks like that the coin toss has been won by Avenue, and they're going to kick off. They're going to be shooting from left to right. We're upstairs in the pavilion at the Horsefall Stadium. So if you know it, we're opposite the Ronnie Bottomley Memorial Stand, the main stand at the ground. So we're facing that on the opposite side of the ground, above where the changing rooms are. We get ready for kick-off. And Nick, any final thoughts ahead of this game?
Well, I was just looking at the way the team lined up before the kick-off, and the way they've lined up is with Ben Parker at centre-back alongside Danny Hall. He's wearing the number 4 shirt, which did suggest maybe that's normally Jack Ray's shirt, but it looks like he's gone into defence, and Jake Lawler wearing the number 5 tonight is going to be alongside Danny Boschel in the defensive, the deep-lying midfield positions.
So an immediate header by Parker. Knocks the ball out into touch, and just Avenue picking up the ball down this left-hand side, trying to work some space down the left channel, and showing some nice triangular passing, getting into the area here for Hott. Hott goes past one man, tries to get it towards the goal, is beaten away by Parker, and it's gone behind for a corner to Avenue. And early on in this game, Avenue making some headway down that left flank. Oh,
nearly a nightmare start, actually, for guys. Park Avenue breaking into the box at pace and really causing some worries in the 6-yard box there.
A lot of green shirts in the area, just waiting for the ball to be retrieved. Avenue to take the corner from the left-hand side. There's plenty of target men to aim for. It swings inside just over Stephen Drench and behind the upright. I think Drench must have just got enough on it to take it away from the back post. I think it might have been Paul Walker who was trying to get on the end of it and has gone behind for another Avenue corner. This time the opposite side, the right-hand side. It comes in towards the 6-yard box once again. Has to be headed away. Helped away by Rothery, only as far as Hott once again, who's got a chance to get this ball into the area. He's tackled well by Brooksby. Brooksby gets it up to the halfway line where Johnson has to earn his money by holding the ball up. Does well, finds the ball back to Rothery, and now Guiseley can get out of their own half for the first time in this game. Rothery steps over the halfway line, lays it square into Danny Boschel. Good work here from Guiseley, but a loose ball gives Chris Howarth a chance to intercept, but now Guiseley get the ball back on this left-hand side. Forrest on the edge of the area, cuts inside, gets it onto the right foot, a wonderful shot into the right-hand corner, an absolutely superb strike from Danny Forrest to give Guiseley the lead. Their first foray forward, and Danny Forrest has got his second goal in as many games, and it's Bradford Park Avenue 0, Guiseley 1.
Well, that is the perfect start for Guiseley. They came out and they were under some pressure in the early minutes, and with their first possession of the game, they've gone a lovely passing move, sweeping across the pitch end to end, and Danny Forrest picks it up on the left, and as we saw on Saturday, he's not averse to shooting with his left foot if you do see him onto it, but that time the Avenue defenders let him cut inside onto his right, from which he's lethal, and he curled it into the far corner of the goal, unstoppable.
Avenue start again. They'll be absolutely gutted to have gone a goal down so early doors, and they threatened so much in that opening minute, but within 3, Avenue are behind and Guiseley have the lead, but they try to muster an immediate response, get towards the edge of the area. It's Chris Howarth who tries to open up the Guiseley defence, but they can't. It goes out to the left-hand side. Now it's with Hott, and Hott has a chance to get the ball into the area. It's into the head of Alex Davison. Davison inside the 6-yard box, doesn't have any direction on the header, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. It's some good work again from Avenue. When they come forward, they really attack with real threat and promise and good passing movement.
Yeah, Avenue were unlucky to come away with a goal kick there. They were unlucky not to win a corner. It was actually Andy Holdsworth's intervention, the deflection as he tried to stop the cross coming in, and the ball looped up in the air. And it looked like it was coming down onto an Avenue head.
Goal kick taken by Stephen Drench. Up towards Jake Lawler, who flicks it on. Down to the header of Boschel. Danny Boschel, that is, for Guiseley. Helps it into the feet of Gavin Rothery. And then out to the right-hand side, Danny Boschel picks it up, but he's bundled over. And Guiseley have a free kick now. And they try to take it quickly, but the referee isn't happy with where it is. So we start again. Guiseley's free kick is, I'd say, about 10 yards in from the centre circle, out onto the right-hand side. And it looks like Andy Holdsworth, who steps forward, or Wayne Brooksby, comes close to collect it off Holdsworth after feigning to play a long ball in. Brooksby starts a run on the edge of the area. He's well tackled though. Paul Walker, I think it was, who was in there now, and starts a counter-attack now as Avenue look to make their way down the right-hand side. DC with some good work, good running down, and earns his side a throw-in just inside the Guiseley half. Jamie Price will take the right back, plays it into the chest of Davison, then forward up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Danny Hall steps across well, lays it into Rhys Maynell, and Maynell clears. Back into the Avenue half, nodded back in to Guiseley territory by Clayton, and now Guiseley defend with the Rhys Maynell getting a header, chested down well by Nicky Boschel, gets the second ball, tries to get through that morass of yellow shirts that have built up on the edge of the Avenue of the Guiseley penalty area. Boschel does well, picks up the ball, helps it out to the left-hand side where Paul Walker takes a shot. 2 goals he scored on Saturday against Vauxhall Motors. He's looking very lively in the early start down this left-hand side. And he's got 2 players onto him as he tries to get the ball into the area, but it's well shadowed by Andy Holdsworth. And the ball goes up to Alex Johnson, but Johnson loses out. Now a counter-attack here for Avenue as Alex Davison looks to break through. In the end, he's offside, and it's going to be a free kick to Guiseley.
Avenue look dangerous, don't they? They're moving forward quickly and purposefully. And already Brooksby, Gavin Rothery and Danny Boschel have all had to make last-ditch sliding challenges, which have been well-timed, and there was the sort of stuff we saw a lot of on Saturday. But it's going to be a long evening if Guiseley can't push out a little bit further than they are at the moment, sitting very deep with the defensive line.
It's a makeshift lineup at the moment because of the well, not exactly makeshift, but loss of 2 players, so it's a different lineup to the one that we've been used to seeing in recent weeks. The goal kick gets sent all the way back to Stephen Drench, who shows very cool feet to take the ball past DC and then launches it forward up towards Danny Forrest, takes it down well on his chest. If you're just joining us, it is Guiseley who lead 1-0. Danny Forrest, who scored after 3 minutes, a wonderful shot, turned inside the penalty area and just placed it neatly into the corner with his right boot. Guiseley now in possession inside Bradford Park Avenue's half and have earned a free kick in a dangerous position. Alex Johnson, the man who attracted the offence. This is a chance here to Guiseley to get some of the big men forward, get this ball into the area.
Yeah, it looks like being another long evening for Alex Johnson so far. He's been isolated up there by himself, but this is a chance for them to get people around him in the Park Avenue box.
And there are 5 Guiseley players all hanging around on the edge of the 18-yard box, looking to get on the end of this. And it includes Jake Lawler and Hall. The ball about to be put in there by Holdsworth, up towards the back post where Lawler was looking for it. Couldn't get his head onto it, and it's cleared well by Avenue up to the halfway line. Ben Parker stabs it forward, finds Rhys Maynell, who helps it on with his left foot, but only as far as the goalkeeper John Lamb. And the former Guiseley man helps the ball up to the edge of the centre circle as Avenue look to muster their own attack down this right-hand side. Good running here from Howarth. Howarth has got options in the box, but he's got Maynell to beat first. Lays the ball in field now, and it's well won by Hott, and Hott takes a shot from distance, and it's rather high and wide, and behind for a goal kick.
It might mean something, might mean nothing, but from that corner, the 2 players you normally see left back at a corner are the fullbacks, aren't they? And the 2 people who stayed back for Guiseley were Andy Holdsworth and Ben Parker, who is playing centre-back today, but is usually a left fullback. So, I mean, I presume they all know their roles, but there's a bit of communicating to be done there to make sure people who aren't playing their usual position, or they're not used to the people around them, all end up in the places they should be.
Well, Parker and Maynell are fairly interchangeable. Surprising not to see Lawler, though, in that centre-half position. He's really come on so much this season since he took that role.
It's a big vote of faith to play him in midfield, though, ahead of Michael Potts, who was the man in possession of that shirt earlier in the season.
A long ball forward looking for Gavin Rothery from Maynell. Headed away. Nodded on, though, by Lawler in midfield. Winning the aerial battles in there, as you'd expect from a man of his stature. Picked up now by Andy Holdsworth, and Andy Holdsworth tries to spray the ball out to the right to find Wayne Brooksby, but it's gone over him into the dugout, and it's a throw that will be taken by Avenue down the left-hand side. They try to get Paul Walker away once again. Up steps Andy Holdsworth and takes the ball away from him, and the ball goes onto the halfway line, and it's Brooksby who feeds it down the right-hand side, looking for Alex Johnson. Alex Johnson chases his man and forces him into a rather tame error and concedes the corner, and it's a Guiseley corner now.
Really good work by Alex Johnson. I mean, he's got a corner out of absolutely nothing there, just by harrying his defender into making the mistake, really.
Now, can Guiseley capitalise on this? Their first corner of the evening. They're already a goal ahead after 3 minutes. It's Danny Forrest who scored the goal. Bradford Park Avenue 0, Guiseley 1. But there's been plenty of attacking intent from both sides. Now Guiseley have a corner, though, on the right-hand side. There's plenty of yellow shirts in the area. They're looking for Reece Maynell at the back post. Maynell wins the header. It's headed away eventually by Clayton. And then a chance now for Avenue to come on the counter-attack as they take the ball over the halfway line with Nathan Hott. Hott's got an overlapping run from Howarth, but it opts to go infield, and in the end it's easily picked up by Danny Forrest, who takes the ball away from Nicky Boschel. And then the ball is sprayed out to the right-hand side where Wayne Brooksby tries to take it down and is eventually well defended by Avenue, and John Lamb launches a really good clearance up the other end of the field, and Avenue can start a counter-attack down the left-hand side. Nicky Boschel just thought he had a sight of the back four there for a moment, but the referee's assistant on this side puts the flag up, and it's going to be a Guiseley free kick.
Well, that's lucky for Guiseley, that actually. It was a really sloppy clearance by Danny Hall, and it's not often you say that, and as soon as the offside flag went up and Danny Hall realised he'd been reprieved, he was straight to put his hands up to apologise to his teammates, because he just kind of lazily swung his foot through the ball and it went straight to an oncoming Park Avenue player. So a real let-off for Guiseley.
Free kick, Stephen Drench takes, launches it forward, looking for Wayne Brooksby, beaten away by Avenue once again, but only as far as Danny Boschel, orchestrating things in midfield once again, tries to feed the ball through to Danny Forrest, just can't control it this time, can Forrest. Headed away, and Avenue start their own counter-attack once again down this left-hand side. Paul Walker skips past Holdsworth and then is brought down by the Guiseley captain. And now it's going to be a free kick to Avenue, some midway through the Guiseley half, just about 10 yards in from the left touchline. And a chance here for them to whip the ball into the edge of the 18-yard box, Nick.
And this is the danger position. They've got to get Jake Lawler in, marking a tall man.
The ball whipped in, goes in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, beats the first defender, but then well defended by Jake Lawler, I think it was, on the edge of the 6-yard area. In the end, there was an offside flag anyway. We're slightly unsighted here, so we didn't quite pick that up in the first instance. But Jake Lawler wasn't to know that, and he put in a very important interception.
Well, that's exactly what I mean. In those defensive situations, they've got to keep talking to each other, the guys, the team, because there's going to be a lot of situations where Jake Lawler's going to be the best man to be marking one of the strikers rather than Ben Parker, just because of the aerial ability that he has, and the height and the strength that he has. But obviously then he needs to be pushing forward into midfield and giving his defence an outlet. So it's an interesting challenge, but they seem to be coping quite well with it so far, the Lions.
Now flick on from Forrest from the goal kick, helps the ball on towards Alex Johnson. Gavin Rothery was looking for the scraps, but Avenue defend very well and help the ball up to Paul Walker, who's got a chance to play a ball in here to Howarth. Howarth's making a brilliant overlapping run, but well saved there from Stephen Dredge, who comes off his line very quickly and anticipates the danger.
Yeah, and just as well, because I think Howarth just about had the beating of Reece Maynell in the foot race there, so Drench had to be alert and get quickly off his line.
Looks very threatening down the right-hand flank, Howarth, when he can move down that flank, and certainly does look like he's going to cause Reece Maynell problems this evening. Now he's on the ball once again for Avenue. Just coming over the centre circle, tries to feed the ball in towards Hott. Beaten away by Guiseley and Danny Hall, and it's gone out into touch for a throw into Avenue on this right-hand side, just 10 yards in from the halfway line. Price takes it in towards DC. DC into Howarth. Howarth looks to play DC in once again down this right-hand side. Jake Lawler steps across, uses his physical prowess to get in between DC and the ball is shepherded out for a goal kick. Yeah,
and he did shepherd it out very well, and those are some of the things he's maybe developed in his time playing at centre-back, and added some defensive skills to what we already knew, which is that he's quite an assured player for such a young lad, isn't he, Lawler? He doesn't ever look flustered, and he certainly wasn't then.
He's got a good pedigree. I know he came from Harrogate Railway last season after a West Riding County Cup semi-final, I think it was, that last year.
Yeah.
So he's not even had a year yet with the Lions. And the goal kick is just returned. And Alex Davison was looking to see if he could get on the end of things, but Stephen Drench has tidied things up very nicely and helped it into the Avenue half. They're busy trying to clear their lines, but it's only as far as Jake Lawler on the halfway line, who this time can't retain possession, but does find Andy Holdsworth. It's a little bit untidy just at the moment, as neither side can get the ball down on the floor, and in the end Andy Holdsworth nods the ball back to Stephen Drench.
I think it's the thing you'd expect to happen, where the home team's trying to get back into the game and the away team is defending very resolutely. Guys have been well organised so far, definitely, and so it's just sort of hanging around in the central third of the pitch. Neither team getting through yet.
Now Guiseley pick the ball up here with Danny Boschel, tries to feed in Alex Johnson. It's beaten away though now, and now is a chance here for Howarth to come once again over the halfway line and try and prize open a chance down this right-hand side. He comes up towards the edge of the penalty area, then lays it back into Jamie Price. Now square here to Nicky Boschel. Boschel back to Howarth, combining very well, but blocked on the edge of the 18-yard box by Danny Boschel, and then into the feet of Wayne Brooksby, and heavily into the feet of Alex Johnson from Brooksby, but Johnson does well to control on the halfway line. Lays the ball back, takes the second ball and starts to run down the right-hand side. Very good work once again from Johnson. And then eventually, uncharacteristically, Danny Boschel's the man who concedes possession and lets the ball go out into touch on that right-hand side as the attack breaks down. Yeah,
it was the right idea by Alex Johnson. He twice there in that move, he held the ball up with his back to goal and gave players a chance to catch up with him. But if guys are going to get anything on the break when they're being pushed back deep into their own territory, they're going to need more than just one man forward, and they're just struggling a little bit to get an outlet when they're under the cosh.
Throw-in has been won back by the Lions and helped all the way back to Stephen Drench. Drench lofts it into the air. I think it must have just bobbled in front of him because it's not quite the direction he'll have wanted, but as the ball is returned, Avenue have two players in an offside position, so it goes all the way back to the goalkeeper once again. If you're just joining us, the news is good here from the Horsfall Stadium. The Lions lead. It's 1-0. It's Danny Forrest who's on the score sheet. A former Avenue man has returned to haunt his club, as he's often the way in these derby matches. But he can't control the ball at the moment as he tried to collect from Stephen Drench's clearance. And the ball goes forward, and then Danny Hall steps across very well to intercept. The news in terms of the team is less good because there's been two players who are missing tonight, Jack Ray and Adam Lockwood, who are both injured for this evening. And so hopefully there won't be too long in terms of returning back to the squad. But 18 minutes gone here. It is Bradford Park Avenue 0, Guiseley 1. Stephen Drench launches the ball down the left-hand side. Looks to let Danny Forrest in, and Forrest looks to nod the ball on towards Johnson, but he can't complete the pass. The ball cleared, and then great ball back in from Rhys Maynell, and Johnson and Rothery combining well down this left-hand side. Rothery twists and turns past one man, lays it into Jake Lawler. Lawler's guilty of a rather poor pass there, and Avenue can clear. Played up to the halfway line and then headed out by Danny Boschel.
Yeah, shame that one, because it looked like there was a good chance for Guiseley to get into the area, but wasn't to be.
There can be a criticism of Lawler, is that he does occasionally just fail to hit some simple passes in moments when we're building up, when he's playing in midfield.
I think that must be a mental thing, and we know he's definitely got the ability. He's very good with the ball at his feet.
Now Avenue just pries open an opening here because Ben Parker slipped and Alex Davison's taken advantage of it. He's trying to get into the area and he's won his side a free kick just on the edge of the 18-yard box. A really dangerous position this. Well worked from Davison. It all came from Ben Parker not clearing his lines, and now Guiseley have to defend this one just about level with the corner of the 18-yard box on the right-hand side in a very dangerous position, Nick.
Yeah, this is a dangerous position. On the edge of the area, you'd normally say that's too close for a free kick to get it around or up and over, but because it's out right at the corner of the area, there's a bit more space for the Avenue player to work with there.
19 minutes gone. Avenue have a free kick. Guiseley lead, though, by 1-0. Danny Forrest, the man who's on the score sheet, but here, Nicky Boschel, a former Guiseley man, looks to get Avenue back on terms with this free kick. Whips it in with the left foot, really good onto the edge of the 6-yard box. Headed away by a Guiseley defender and then helped on to Danny Boschel. Boschel finally completes the clearance, and now Alex Johnson, if he could win this battle with Price, could start a counter-attack. But Price does very well, heads the ball down, and then I think it's James Knowles who bundles over Wayne Brooksby on the halfway line, and it's going to be a free kick to Guiseley. I'm not quite sure whether he's just earned that free kick rather than been too greatly aggrieved.
Well, the Avenue players certainly don't look like they agree with the referee's decision, but going back to the free kick, and that was a perfect delivery, wasn't it, from Nicky Boschel right into the most dangerous area, just inside the 6-yard box, and Guiseley did well to scramble it away.
That Danny Hall will take. Sorry, Ben Parker. And it's just inside the centre circle, inside the Bradford half. Chance for Parker to play it long. And he does to Brooksby. Back here to Holdsworth. Down the right channel here. Finds Gavin Rothery. Back to goal. Plays a lovely ball into Holdsworth on the overlap. And then earns a corner. Very well worked there from Guiseley down that right-hand side, because it was a distance ball in the first instant, but very good control from the attacking players and good work from Rothery and Holdsworth. And it's another corner to Guiseley. It's going to be in the same side on the right-hand side.
It does look like Guiseley have the slight aerial advantage, which is not something we've said often about Guiseley, but it does look like they've got slightly more of these taller players.
Corner comes in, up towards the penalty spot, where Jake Lawler gets a header on it. He was unmarked, directed it towards goal, but not really ever likely to threaten the goalkeeper. And the Avenue defence clear their lines and help it all the way back to Stephen Drench. Drench plays it long immediately, looking for Forrest to flick on to Alex Johnson, but it's over him and back with the goalkeeper Lamb.
Yeah, and those are the positions where Johnson's so dangerous, isn't he? If he gets that flick on, if that lands just a yard closer to him rather than a yard further in front, then he's going to be one-on-one with Lamb, and you'd back him in that situation.
Guiseley defending at the moment. And it's gone out into touch anyway, and it's going to be a throw to the Lions in right-back position. 22 minutes gone. Do feel free to let us know if you're tuning in with us tonight on Guiseley AFC Radio. We've got a Twitter feed, which is at Guiseley Radio.
Yeah, and thanks to Tommy for letting us know the stream's good tonight. That's good to know.
It certainly is. As we approach the end of the first quarter, and Guiseley are in the ascendancy. But Bradford have certainly asked some questions, and they're asking another one down this left-hand side, and they've got themselves another corner. Another chance to put the ball into the penalty area and threaten the Guiseley defence once again. It's taken short, quickly, tried to be killed into the air, but blocked well by Andy Holdsworth. And it's another throw-in down the left-hand side that Avenue win. Somehow managed to get themselves into an offside position, which I'm sure will not satisfy John Deasy at all, because that's a very poor way of conceding possession, I think, when you're on the attack.
Yeah, you can't afford when you're 1-0 down to allow yourself to get trapped offside so easily as that, or just when it looks like you're building something for your team.
Guiseley have a free kick right in right-back position. And at the moment, everything is going to plan on field. The Lions lead by 1-0, with Danny Forrest scoring after 3 minutes. They've got a throw-in now on the halfway line.
Yeah, I'd like to say Guiseley have silenced the crowd, but truth be told, I've got no idea what the crow's doing from inside this pavilion, you called it.
We do sound like we're doing this from our front lounge. We've not got some sort of illegal internet stream off the telly or something. We are here, but we're behind glass. And Guiseley try to feed the ball forward. Avenue are now threatening to come over the halfway line in some numbers, Play a long one in here to try and release hot. Stephen Drench marshalling the edge of the 18-yard box really well.
That was a fantastic ball diagonally through the middle, out from the left of midfield, looking for the striker. And as you say, again, Drench quickly off out to the edge of his area to intervene.
3 free kicks given against Danny Forrest, and it's going to be an Avenue kick inside their own half. Forrest gives the referee his view on that, which isn't complimentary. But Avenue restart, and Price has the ball down the right-hand side.
Did he charge him for it?
I don't think it was consultancy.
Oh, wrong complimentary.
The ball from Price sends the captain hot away over the halfway line. Good tackle, though, from Wayne Brooksby. The ball fed forward from Holdsworth. Tries to feed Gavin Rothery in, but a really good tackle. Denies Guiseley, and then Andy Holdsworth helps it over the halfway line. Real battle going on there in midfield with Richard Marshall getting his feet in and disrupting things really well. And Guiseley win the ball rather unconventionally with Alex Johnson, and he leads it into Jake Lawler. Lawler takes a swing at it, concedes possession now, and now forward come Avenue. They've won a free kick here, and there's going to be a card, I think, because Nicky Boschel had waltzed past Danny Hall, and Danny Hall's just got a foot in there, tripped him up about 25 yards from goal, and is going to go in the book.
Yeah, I'm afraid Danny Hall's been sold one there, hasn't he? The oncoming players just clipped it past him, and then let him take him down, really. And quite rightly, it's a yellow card, but he needed to get out of the way a little bit more swiftly, really.
Never good to have a centre half on a yellow card, especially so early in the game.
Especially not when he's your only centre half, really, on the pitch.
Well, Jake Lawler might disagree with that.
Well, now we might, but
we have
up until a few weeks ago.
26 minutes gone here. Bradford Park Avenue are trailing by a 1-0, so guys are in the ascendancy, but there is a free kick now for Avenue. 25 yards from goal, just about to the left of the D. Guys, have got a wall, 3-man wall, and there's 4 Avenue players all looking to get on the end of the ball at the edge of the penalty area. Great shot from distance from Paul Walker. Really good save there from Stephen Drench. Walker was a sort of a grass cutter with power. Drench watched it so well, got down, managed to get enough on it and turn it round the upright for a corner.
Oh, and he saw it ever so late. He was down to it so quickly, and it was hit really hard. To see it round the post at that pace was quite an achievement.
Corner comes in towards the 6-yard box. Well claimed by Stephen Drench. Referee doesn't give the free kick, even though Drench is under a challenge. Eventually, Guiseley beat the ball away. I'm really surprised the referee didn't stop that, but there's no complaint from the keeper. But now Guiseley can counter-attack. Gavin Rothery takes the ball over the halfway line. Only has to lay the ball in here to Wayne Brooksby. Almost gets on the end of it, even though he had Danny Boschel ahead of him. Only had to feed in Danny Boschel, but didn't win it. And Boschel goes to win the ball. Now the referee has pulled Boschel back and has pulled the Guiseley assistant manager across immediately. And I think he's not happy with the way he went in for the challenge there. And Guiseley protest their innocence, but I don't know what you made of that, Nick.
I was a bit surprised to see such drama after that. I didn't think it was a yellow card myself, but there's been a lot of vigour in the challenges in the last 5 minutes or so. Maybe the referee's just decided he wants to calm it down a bit, but I wasn't sure whether that one was the one that warranted a booking, really.
No, I am surprised about that. The only thing, to be fair, the studs were showing. It didn't seem to be near the player. I mean, studs were showing to win the ball, you know.
No, he was nowhere near the player.
Yeah, but maybe referee can only spell Danny. Hall and Boschel both in the book in the last couple of minutes. Now Guiseley can counter-attack as the ball comes forward. It's up towards, yes or no, that was a partridgeism. Up to the halfway line. And cleared by Avenue once again as they look to come down here with Marshall. Marshall plays it on the right-hand side here, where Howarth is under great attention from Rhys Maynell. Maynell does well to win the ball off him, and then Guiseley will win the throw-in. And Guiseley just need a little bit of a respite. I would have to say a second goal is definitely, I feel a second goal will be needed tonight.
Yeah, they've never really got the passing game going yet tonight, guys. They've definitely been playing like the away side and been penned back for quite a bit of it without conceding too many chances. But you do get the feeling that the longer it goes on without Guiseley getting some rhythm going in midfield, that the more Avenue will feel like they are on the cusp of coming back into it.
So as a free kick, you may have just gathered that there's a free kick to Guiseley. We're on the side where most of the Guiseley fans are tonight. And Guiseley have a free kick just inside their own half. Taken long here by Rhys Maynell up to the edge of the 18-yard box where Johnson takes it down well but can't get the ball into a Guiseley man. And it's gone all the way to the halfway line, and Maynell has to shepherd it back to Stephen Drench. Drench does well because the ball was bobbling in front of him to get a clean connection onto it, and then launches it up towards Danny Forrest. It's gone over him and out into touch for an Avenue throw.
You raise a good point, actually, which is the ball isn't travelling brilliantly along the ground, and that's affecting the passing game maybe of Guiseley.
Boschel now has the ball for Guiseley on the left-hand side. Plays in Gavin Rothery. Rothery heads down towards the touchline. He's got bodies in the box if he can get this ball across, but he's been well attended to at the moment from the Avenue defence. Rothery steps back, plays it to Rhys Maynell. Maynell now can launch this one long, but he's well blocked by Jordan Deasy, but still gets the second ball. Helps it in towards the back post. Picked up well by Brooksby, but Brooksby slips at the crucial moment. And now Avenue can come away with it down the left-hand side. Now they look as if they can launch their own counter-attack with Paul Walker. Well shepherded by Andy Holdsworth, who steps across and knocks it into touch. Well,
that was the chance the guys who were waiting for. It was a beautiful ball across the box by Rhys Maynell. Curled it perfectly. It's all of 30 yards onto the feet of Brooksby. And Brooksby was alone and unmarked in the box and just fell over himself.
And guys, you now have the ball with Alex Johnson, but Johnson's offside. Steps back from an offside position to get the ball. And Avenue have a free kick. Long ball forward, picked up here by Andy Holdsworth. But can't complete the clearance, and now Avenue come down this left flank. Paul Walker, once again showing himself to be a problem. Finds Jordan Deasy. Deasy's tackled. And I don't think, I think it was Lawler, sorry, who made the interception. Has let that go for a corner. It's gone for a throw-in. Good defensive work there from Lawler.
Yeah, it was, but guys, they now penned up back. I mean, all apart from Forrest and Johnson inside the area or behind the line of the edge of the area.
Another throw to Avenue. They take it short, and it's beaten away into touch once again, but it's about level with the penalty area on the left-hand side. They keep working opportunities down here. One thing to be said, that guys have been very disciplined and managed to clear the ball out into touch. Throw once again comes short, and eventually Paul Walker tries a little trickery, tries to get hot away, but again that back line holds the offside line well, or Avenue shows some indiscipline, I'm not quite sure which, in terms of avoiding the offside flag, but anyway an offside flag's been given. And Guiseley have a free kick, and the attack breaks down once again.
Well, I've been watching Ben Parker actually, and he's been doing a lot of communicating, a lot of talking, particularly to Maynell on his left, but presumably, and I think that might be just because we can see him when he looks this way, but presumably also with Danny Hall in the centre, and they're obviously whatever they're doing and whatever they're saying to each other is working at the moment because the line has been very good so far.
Come to the half-hour mark, just over the half-hour mark. Stephen Trench takes the free kick and concedes possession immediately. And Guiseley will have to defend once again. The halfway line, the ball is thrown in towards Wayne Brooksby, who wins this one, this time for Guiseley, but scrappy play in midfield, and then a free kick's given. I'm not quite sure what for. But Guiseley have it on the halfway line.
No, I'm not sure either, but one for Guiseley this time after one or two we haven't been sure about, and I guess that's what you hope for. If you're not happy with the referee, at least you hope he's equally controversial for both teams, I suppose.
Now free kick to Guiseley. It's about level with the edge of the centre circle inside the Avenue half. Referee actually making the ball go back a little bit further up towards the halfway line, and it will be Andy Holdsworth who will launch this one up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. And there's 2 or 3 Guiseley players looking to try and get on the end of this. Rothery launches this one up. There's Jake Lawler, who does win the header in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, beaten away really well. Well won by Andy Holdsworth again, but Wayne Brooksby's touch once again lets him down this evening, and it's gone out for a throw-in.
Yeah, actually Wayne Brooksby's defensive work has been better than his attacking work tonight. He's been throwing himself in and winning the ball in challenges in midfield, but it's just not coming off for him further forward.
Thanks to Thomas Harvey and your note via Twitter. Good stream tonight, no problems yet. That's what we like to hear. No problems on the pitch either.
That's optimism. No problems yet.
Yeah,
give it time.
The words yet don't give us too much enthusiasm.
Yeah, I don't know why the internet has given up on us at Nethermore recently. It's obviously the equipment's fine. It's just Nethermore hates us. So. But at least it means we can do this slightly bizarre simulcast with BCB radio tonight, where we're each being heard on the other's platforms because we're sat right next to each other in a glass-walled building. That's quite new to me. That, Colin, you're probably used to it.
Stephen Drench now plays this one forward up towards Alex Johnson on the edge of the area. Now Guiseley have a chance. Gavin Rothery can't get the ball away from the Avenue defence, and in the end, free kicks given for Brooksby, who just clips an Avenue man. No, you'd be surprised actually how often this does happen in various commentary grounds.
Oh, fair enough.
Barrow last year, exactly the same scenario. In the Football League, quite a few end up getting shoved in. Cheltenham is one.
Oh, okay.
Where if you're doing a league coverage, you can do so. So this is a bit unique though, the pavilion.
It's very special, isn't it? And then with the running track and yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad way. Now Avenue pick the ball up here with Hott. Hott gets the ball in towards the edge of the centre circle. It's good clearance from Andy Holdsworth. Helps it up towards Brooksby. Now Brooksby can have a run down this right-hand side. Can he do something productive with this? He's got... the answer to that is no, because he's got Richard Marshall shadowing him, and he takes the ball off him and sends it away down the right-hand side, where Howarth looks to start a more patient Bradford Park Avenue attack. Out here to Nicky Boschel. Boschel comes infield, has options to his left in Alex Davison. Davison goes past one man, tries to claim the foul on Danny Hall. Referee's having none of it, but the ball still with Avenue. Marshall, square to Knowles. Knowles has options ahead of him, nobody really closing him down. Inside the centre circle, he sprays the ball out to the right-hand side, looks to find Nicky Boschel. Boschel gets a touch, and it's a Guiseley throw.
Yeah, if the game goes on, Wayne Brooksby might start to find himself trying to avoid looking in the direction of the bench, because maybe if it's not coming off for him, Matt Bauer might want to try something different in the second half.
I certainly imagine Louis Swain will play some role tonight, actually.
I'd like to see him come on the left and Danny Forrest switch to the right. I think that could be really effective in this sort of game tonight, where they need a bit more physical presence as well, and Louis Swain's a big, strong lad.
It's still too early to be talking about substitutes just at this moment in time, because we're still in the first half and Guiseley do lead. Danny Forrest now has the ball down the left-hand side. He's the man who's on the score sheet already in a similar position. He's coming down the right, gets the ball into the area on the edge of the 6-yard box, taken away from Alex Johnson by the defender. Johnson pleads the referee that he was impeded, but the referee waves the way, and the ball cleared comfortably in the end for Avenue. But that was a chance there for Guiseley. Well worked as well by Danny Forrest. Guiseley picked the ball up again. Danny Boschel in the middle of the park loses out. Great tackle back, though, from Gavin Rothery to recover the ball. And then Danny Forrest steps over. Rhys Maynell comes forward from left back. Plays the ball in towards Johnson on the edge of the area. Flag is up. And it's going to be a free kick. Important couple of minutes there, though, Nick. And a real chance once again for Guiseley to get that second goal.
It was a great chance, wasn't it? And Danny Forrest showing he's definitely got the better of his marker tonight. Getting in down right all the way down to the touchline actually that time, then cutting it back on his left foot. And again on the floor, but right in that uncertain area on the edge of the 6-yard box where anything can happen. And if they get too many more chances like that, then Guiseley will probably put one of them away.
The clearance from Lamb down the right-hand side, knocked out by Rhys Maynell. So it's a throw into Avenue now, level with the penalty area in the little penalty spot on the right-hand side. And we're just waiting for the ball to be returned. Some distance here at the Horsfall behind the goals, because it's an athletics track. And when it does eventually come on to play, it's knocked out once again by Rhys Maynell. And there's a throw-in. And the ball is retrieved once again to be taken by Price on the right-hand side. Into Nicky Boschel. Boschel sprays the ball into the area. Looking to get Paul Walker in on goal, but it's headed behind for another corner to Avenue. Taken away from Walker as the ball whipped in.
Yeah, and that came about despite Guiseley having everybody but Johnson tucked back in and defending.
Now the corner comes in from the left-hand side, curled into that 6-yard box once again. Just trying to whip the ball in every time for Avenue, but it's well held this time by the goalkeeper, who claims well and then plays the ball up towards Alex Johnson. Johnson takes it down very well. Beaten to it on the second ball from Jamie Price, but it's only out for a Guiseley throw inside their own half.
Yeah, it's a great clearance by Drench, just straight to the feet of Johnson, who was halfway into the Avenue half, but just couldn't quite hold on to it long enough to find another yellow shirt. But those are the sort of clearances that are going to give Guiseley a chance to move on the break.
Seems to work so well, this Johnson outlet from Stephen Drench's point of view. We were looking often forlorn when we were trying the quick counter-attack before Johnson came. The ball's just come down the right-hand side as Avenue looked to get in on the goal, and as Danny Hall and Stephen Drench hesitated, it's had to be knocked out for a throw into Avenue, about level with the edge of the 18-yard box. Taken short now here to Price. Price forced away from goal. Back here to Hott. Hott lays it back all the way to Knowles, and then it's laid forward to Paul Walker, and Paul Walker still in the centre circle gives it to Hott. Hott sprays it to the right-hand side where Howarth does really well to take the ball past Maynell, goes into the penalty area, just loses his footing for a moment there, can't control the ball, still recovers it. Jake Lawler right on him, but Howarth does well to keep possession, play the ball back to Hott. Hott into the edge of the area, finds Richard Marshall. Marshall tries to get the return ball from Howarth, intercepted, but it's going to be another corner to Avenue. And Bradford Park Avenue threatening so much when they come down that right-hand side. Yeah,
referee just took a moment to wait for a bit of guidance from his assistant on whether that was a goal kick or a corner, but I think the right decision was made, and guys are going to be hoping they can get through to half-time.
Ball goes in towards that 6-yard box once again. A good header away this time. Danny Boschel just getting enough on it to take it away from the Avenue players that are in there. And now there's a bit of a chance here for a Guiseley counter-attack. Gavin Rothery picks the ball up on the halfway line. He's got Boschel down the left flank if he can find him. Boschel collects the ball on the edge of the area, on the angle of the penalty area, plays the ball short in here to Gavin Rothery once again. Got Rothery heading down towards the touchline. Just somehow gets a fortuitous bounce, gets past the man, gets a shot away. It's blocked on the edge of the 6-yard box. A second follow-up from Danny Forrest is wayward, and it's behind for a goal kick, but that was another good build-up there from Guiseley, and on the counter-attack they may well have grabbed the second goal there.
The left has been where all of Guiseley's best work has been done in the first half, hasn't it? And at that time it was Danny Boschel didn't look like he wanted to make the cross on his left foot, but instead he found a really clever little ball through to Gavin Rothery, who managed to jink his way past and just kind of force his way past through determination and quick reactions, really, past two men and get the ball over into the box. But Danny Forrest will be kicking himself that his snapshot went so far wide.
Yeah, Forrest almost getting the second there, or had the chance to. Didn't get close to goal in the end, but Forrest has got the ball down on the halfway line. Concedes possession, and now a lovely ball played through here for Avenue as they look to get Alex Davidson away. He's on the edge of the area on the right-hand side, going towards the touchline, tries to get the ball across the 6-yard box. In the end, doesn't get the cross he would have wanted at all, and it goes straight to Stephen Drench.
No, that's fantastic defending. They had the offside trap sprung for the first time, really, but still enough composure and tracking back to keep not only to win the ball back, but not even concede a corner from it.
Davidson, of course, had a brief spell with Guiseley a couple of seasons ago. Looked promising, but certainly come into his own when he's been here with Avenue. And now Guiseley have the ball with Gavin Rothery inside the Avenue half. Plays the ball out to the right-hand side. Wayne Brooksby goes down the right flank. Can't shake his marker, so has to go back to Holdsworth. Holdsworth plays one into the area where Johnson has been asked an awful lot of to get hold of that, and he can't. And it's poked away by Avenue all the way back into Guiseley territory and onto the edge of their own 18-yard box. The ball helped up to the halfway line by Danny Hall, and now picked up by Avenue, who come down the left-hand side this time. And then opt to go square and back into their own half here. Patient build-up this time. Price into the feet of Howarth. And still inside the Guiseley half, but a good tackle here from Danny Boschel. Gives the ball to Alex Johnson. Johnson has a bit of a run at the back four, but then goes right to the right-hand side to Wayne Brooksby. Some distance from goal. Brooksby hits a really good shot, just clips the top of the crossbar and behind, but a real pile driver there from Wayne Brooksby from some distance from goal. Good 25 yards from goal. Always rising, clips the top of the crossbar and goes behind.
And that is why you have Wayne Brooksby in your team, Colin, because he can go an entire half where nothing comes off for him, and then he can produce a moment of magic that no one else on the pitch can do. And that time just another couple of inches lower, and you'd have been looking at a goal, I think.
Fantastic drive there from Brooksby. And good incisive counter-attacking movement again.
Yeah, it was, and the difference was there that they managed to get people up and around Johnson sooner and didn't leave him sort of waiting and holding it up for quite so long.
Free kick's been awarded to Guiseley in the meantime. It's an offside decision once again. I'm sure John Deasy's going to be having a word with his charges at half-time about that, because on several occasions, really, they found themselves breaking down in that final third.
Yeah, well, I think they're going to be frustrated that they've been caught offside a few times against the Guiseley defence when they've been getting men forward, and then once or twice, as we've seen, that they've left one or two too many men forward and have risked getting caught on the break by the away team.
Well, the referee assistant on the far side, I think, is just indicating 1 minute of added time as we head to the 45. It could be enough for Avenue, though, as they just pick up the ball inside their own half, but good tackle there from Andy Holsworth. Halts the counter-attack, and it's going to be a throw-in in the end on the halfway line, where Guiseley have got all 10 yellow shirts almost behind the ball. The clearance goes up back into John Lamb, as Guiseley are very well disciplined. When they get bodies behind the ball, it's very difficult for teams to break them down. At the moment, Avenue are just finding that as they play the ball to the left-hand side here with James Knowles. And they look to see whether they're going to go long or short and choose the outlet that is Paul Walker, who's been very effective in this game. Tries to get Jordan DC away, and in the end a free kick is given, or not, free kick rather. The referee decides that is the full complement for the first half, and it's been a very good first half for Guiseley, who took the lead on after only 3 minutes. Danny Forrest it was, scoring against his old side, got inside the area, cut in onto the right foot, a great finish, just curled inside the upright. The goal is the only one of the half, but both sides have had their chances. Bradford Park Avenue have looked dangerous when they've come forward. They've had a few very dangerous corners that they've whipped into the 6-yard box. The best second chance really has to be Guiseley's Wayne Brooksby, who took a real pile driver from distance from 25 yards that clipped the crossbar. Other than that, it's a pretty fair reflection of the first 45. It's Bradford Park Avenue 0, Guiseley 1.
Well, they're a noisy bunch, these players, aren't they? As they come back into the pavilion. Again, you're used to this. This is new to me. And just as they're coming off, Mark Bauer and Danny Boschel both sort of having a word with the referee. I think presumably about the booking that Guiseley's assistant manager got, and it's all civil with the referee. But I think that they can feel rightfully a little bit aggrieved. But otherwise, they've got every reason to be happy with the first half's work. They haven't been at their best, and I don't suppose Park Avenue will think they've been at their best either. It's been a pretty even game. It's been really well contested in midfield, and two well organised defences. And so far, Guiseley made the better of the chances, and quite rightly they go in a goal to the good, but it's finally poised for the second half. The other thing I spotted just as soon as the half-time whistle was blown was Craig Hobson tearing across the pitch to get into the dressing room. So I wonder if maybe he's been given the word that he needs to go in and hear the talk, and maybe we'll see him come back out and start warming up or getting ready for a second half appearance. I wonder if he's just maybe been tipped the nod that he's going to be involved sooner rather than later. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, it's been interesting, hasn't it? Because in recent weeks you could almost call the substitutes before they were made. You knew exactly who was going to change because the shape and the pattern has been so predictable, in a good way. But tonight, you do feel that with the turf that we're playing on as well, it's clearly a little bit cut up, a bit bobbly. It's a bit difficult to play a ball through on the ground because it doesn't follow through. As we just watch the players in the half time here, there's some of the passes there really just exemplify that. So, it's difficult for guys to get into the flow of the passing game that they want to. So, you have to change it a bit, don't they? And
well, once or twice, Gavin Rothery's been in the Park Avenue half, running at goal and trying to move quickly on the break, and he's just really struggled to take the ball with him because it's not been rolling in a true way on the ground in front of him, and that's made it really difficult for the sort of football that he and Wayne Brooksby in particular, and the likes of Danny Boschel and Jake Lawler will want to play. So definitely scope for another aerial threat in the form of Hobbs, and just another big strong lad in Louis Swain to come on and maybe have a different look at these Park Avenue defenders in the second half.
Can have no complaints at the break, though. It's been a good performance. Guiseley lead. We'll be back for the second period. And we'll be bringing you full commentary, live commentary of that second period. But for now, we'll go off air for a few moments so we can catch our breath, have a cup of tea, and come back fully refreshed and ready for this second period. So join us in a short while. Well, welcome back here to the Horsefall Stadium, where at half-time, Guiseley are leading Bradford Park Avenue by a goal to nil. The two teams back out on the field, and Guiseley have got the game underway, shooting from left to right where we're watching it here in the pavilion, opposite the main stand, on the other side of the field to the main stand. And immediately Bradford Park Avenue pick up the ball on the halfway line and earn themselves a throw-in. No changes at the break. The Lions leading by that Danny Forrest goal on 3 minutes, if you're just joining us. And at the moment, Stephen Drench's goal has survived another half of football without being breached. So that's 5.5 games without conceding a goal. Still another important 45 minutes ahead. Guys, you have a throw-in inside their own half. There's not much structure to the play in the opening stage of the second period. And it's a throw in the left-back position that Rhys Maynell launches long up to the halfway line. And no sooner does it go up there, it comes back from Avenue. And Guiseley, once again, having to defend. One back as Avenue look to make some headway down that right-hand side, but they're beaten to it. And the ball is cleared out into touch. And Guiseley have a throw-in. And the two sides just teasing each other in the opening periods of the second half. Gavin Rothery gets the ball into Danny Forrest. Good tackle here from Jamie Price on Forrest, who's gone down, clutching his ankle for a moment there. And looks to be okay. The referee's just stepped across to see how he's doing. And it appears that he's fine. The throw-in taken into the feet of Alex Johnson. He just can't get on to the end of that one. The ball cleared. Up to the centre circle, where Danny Hall launches it back long. Alex Johnson was looking for it. Well shadowed by the defender, though. Helped all the way back to John Lamb. And as we start this second period, Guiseley still trying to find their feet in the second half, and as our Avenue, they come down the left-hand side, and Paul Walker trying to get one of his first raiding runs down that left flank underway. Earns his side a throw-in. It's about level with the edge of the 18-yard box. In a dangerous position. The ball going to have to be retrieved. A chance to say welcome to Nick Keefe for the second half. He's just come back with a cup of tea. And guys, you have just conceded a throw-in before we hear from Nick, but it's a first real test for the Lions. And I don't think Danny Boschel agrees with that at all. I think they think it came off the Avenue man last.
I think it's actually a corner, not a throw-in.
Sorry, throw-in, I'm saying.
Oh, you're thrown,
a corner even.
You're thrown by the absence.
Corner comes in anyway, onto the edge of the 6-yard box. Helped away. The referee gives a free kick. I think he decided to level things up in the end.
I think you're right.
He didn't think it was a corner, I think, in the first instance, and the second thinking, if you ask me. In the end, guys, you have a free kick.
Awful lot of thinking going on in that sentence. Yeah, no, I think maybe that the absence of atmosphere distracted you slightly, but the presence of a cup of tea. This is slightly surreal, this. Behind a double glazed window, I'm standing with a microphone in one hand and a cup of tea in the other, and it's not even cold. It's nothing like the commentary I'm used to doing.
It's everything like the commentary they're used to hearing, though, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Harsh.
The clearance goes into Avenue's half from Stephen Drench. It's picked up now by Avenue once again. Danny Forrest bustling in there, then concedes a free kick. And so Avenue with once again a chance just to put the ball down. Very fragmented start to this second period. And the referee did point one way and then pointed the other. I think he communicated it the right way to the players, but pointed the arm in the wrong direction. Avenue start with Knowles playing a long ball forward and towards the edge of the 18-yard box is beaten back to the centre circle. Hott does well to recover possession. Lays it into the feet now of Walker. Walker tries to skip past Holdsworth, but is forced infield. Lays a lovely ball square here to Hott, who's got some space to work. Gets the ball to the edge of the D. Davidson tries to work something out of a tight angle there, but Guiseley clear their lines and now help it up to Alex Johnson. Johnson's got 3 players around him, including Price, who's shadowing him very closely. Johnson doing really well here down this left-hand channel and earns his side a free kick as well. Very close attention by Jamie Price, but well worked there from Alex Johnson.
Oh, it's brilliant work again, isn't it? He's in the probably the sole Guiseley player in the Avenue half, and he's over at the touchline. He's got one man on him, another waiting for him, and he's managed to hold it up with the ball at his feet, wait with it long enough, and eventually he's drawn the foul, but he'd actually held on to it long enough that the rest of the team had caught up anyway.
The free kick just a couple of yards in from the left touchline, about level with the edge of the D. And now a chance here for Guiseley to get players into the edge of the 6-yard box. It's whipped in, headed really well away, but only as far as Danny Boschel. What a strike from Boschel from distance. It just goes past the right upright. Just wide of the mark, but a really lovely strike. First time from Danny Boschel from distance. Behind for a goal kick.
He eyed that up from about a 10-yard run-up. He decided he was going to go for that come what may, and it found its way all the way through all of the players in between. I tell you what, if that had been, I thought from standing here, that was going right into the top corner, and if it had, that would have been unstoppable for any keeper.
It was a great strike, just wide of the mark. John Lamb wouldn't have had any chance really with that.
No, and it's quite a skill to keep the ball down from that distance. He must have got his head really well over it.
The ball cleared by Lamb straight to Forrest. Forrest returns it. The goalkeeper collects and then lays it forward. And yeah, it was a good, it looked like about 30 yards from goal. It was a real distance. Lovely strike from Danny Boschel a couple of minutes before. And now Guiseley have won themselves another free kick. Alex Johnson's gone to ground, and I think the referee's going to book the First Avenue player of the evening. I'm not quite sure who went through the back of Alex Johnson there. I think it's more persistent than the incident in its own right, because it was just a challenge rather than a bad tackle, one of many challenges rather than a bad tackle. The referee's just having a word at the moment. I don't think, in fact, the card is going to come out. He's got hot across and telling Price, no more, that's your lot. And it's going to be a free kick to Guiseley about 4 yards in from the halfway line.
Well, he strung that out to say he's not going to put anyone in the book as the referee there. He's taken an awful lot of time out of the game.
That's his problem. His first name's not Danny. He doesn't know how to spell it.
If I was Danny Forrest, I'd be quite concerned right now.
Free kick to Guiseley, 10 yards in from the halfway line. Good chance here for Hall to get the ball forward. Helped up towards the edge of the D. Headed clear. Helped back in by Holdsworth. Looking for Forrest. Good header from Price to clear. Finds Howarth. Howarth gets the ball away from the 18-yard box, but only as far as Danny Boschel. Boschel and Forrest combine nicely down that left-hand side. Forrest comes back. He's under pressure. Plays the ball back forward. Looking for... it was Rhys Maynell who was looking to make his way down that left channel. And then it's taken away nicely by Avenue and then helped forward by Marshall into the feet of Paul Walker. Paul Walker comes over the halfway line. Such a threat, this man. Comes down the left-hand side, beats 3 players. Can't quite find the ball through to Marshall the first time. Almost helps it through. Well blocked by Marshall and then well blocked by Guiseley to clear, and it goes down this right flank, and he's always an outlet. Alex Johnson gets the ball just on the edge of the area. 3 players in green shirts around him, but still manages to get the ball into Danny Forrest, who takes a shot from distance, and a wonderful goal. A second from Danny Forrest. He took it off the feet of Alex Johnson, just lofted the ball in the air once, hit it with the second strike right into the top of the net. And Guiseley have some clear distance in this game now. It's Bradford Park Avenue 0, Guiseley 2.
What a goal that was, and Danny Forrest has really found his scoring form in the last few days, obviously, apparently, and this one was really cracked against the underside of the bar and hammered down into the turf behind the goal line. A real special one to see, and the Guiseley fans down here were going absolutely wild when that went in.
Well, it was a tremendous goal. 2 for Danny Forrest this evening. The second, though, a real beauty. Great control on the edge of the area. Took 2 touches, it seemed to me. But the second one launched into the top of the net, giving goalkeeper John Lamb absolutely no chance.
Yeah, you can't fault the keeper with that. A shot that's that good, even at that distance, is going to be unstoppable. And you can't place it any higher than on the underside of the bar, can you?
Guiseley have the ball inside their own half. The throw-in cleared, but now Avenue have to up the tempo somewhat. They can't make any clearance work this time, so it's another throw for the Lions. Taken up to the halfway line, flicked on by Johnson. Headed back into Guiseley territory. Rhys Maynell goes for the header. Ben Parker clears. Good header back from Knowles. into Guiseley's territory. A little bit of head tennis, a bit scrappy. Gavin Rothery battling away in midfield, tries to win it. Good tackle there from Knowles to send Paul Walker down the left-hand side. Holdsworth goes to ground. Walker goes past him, onto the edge of the area now. Has Lawler ahead of him. Good tackle coming in here from Hall to clear. Danny Boschel, actually. A real firm tackle right on the touchline, and Guiseley get the ball up to the halfway line, but only as far as Clayton. Clayton lays it square. Now Avenue have every man bar the goalkeeper inside Guiseley's half, and they're really looking to make a response to that Danny Forrest second goal. As it stands, it's Bradford Park Avenue 0, Guiseley 2 if you're just joining us. 55 minutes gone in this game. 2 goals from Danny Forrest, absolute beauties. The second, the best of the bunch, but Guiseley currently having to defend. And Stephen Drench gets the ball back from a clearance and lofts it towards Johnson. And Johnson goes down to the challenge of Adam Clayton. I think Clayton's going to get booked this time. He had a good long talking to from the referee a couple of minutes earlier, and now he's clearly going to go in the book. Yeah,
and the only reason that one's happened is because the referee didn't book him previously. It was just been a matter of time for the yellow card to come out. I don't know why the referee chose to have such a long conversation with him last time and do nothing, but that was his final warning, and I think it's right to go into the book this time because Alex Johnson's been getting pretty heavy treatment up there, which he's used to, and I know he knows that's part of his role. But I think still there comes a point in the game where you have to say that's got to stop now.
Yeah, this time it was a really heavy jump right through Johnson. No question it was a free kick. And again, I'm not sure it was for the individual challenge, but more the number of challenges. And Johnson does invite them, but that's what he's there for. And it's up to the defender not to go for it, really.
Yeah, that's his job in this team, is to stand with his back to goal as the lone striker, knowing he's going to have the 2 tallest, strongest players on the opposition to work up against, and he's got to try and win some of the knockdowns and things for his team. So there's no secret. He knows it's a tough physical battle every time he goes out to play that number 9 position.
Danny Boschel stands over the ball. Guys are in no hurry to take this free kick. The ball eventually whipped in from distance. And I'm not quite sure whether Brooksby was ever going to be able to beat the goalkeeper from the distance there. It was a 35-yard or at least 40 yards. It was something very, very ambitious, and it went straight to Lamb. And the clearance is immediately sent down towards Stephen Drench, who collects the ball at the edge of the area. Now, guys, I expect we'll just try and slow the game down now and just try to see things out. At the moment, though, it's with Alex Johnson inside Avenue's half. He has 2 or 3 players around him. Turns well, is tackled. Throw in on the halfway line.
Sorry, Colin, I was just getting a little selfie for the Twitter there in the reflections of the glass. But I assume whatever you said was very insightful.
Well, you assumed wrong. Throwing down the left-hand side now. That's why I was waiting for you to join in.
We've dropped our guard now that we've gone 2-0 up, haven't we? Let's hope Guiseley don't do the same.
In fact, they've just picked up a loose ball. It was come back here to Alex Johnson on the edge of the day. Just can't get past the man. Clayton this time doing really well to defend Johnson. But a loose ball that could have sent him away. Now it's sent down the left-hand side by Hott to try and release Walker. Walker's been well dealt with by Holdsworth this evening. Walker once again has the ball. Holdsworth has to try and win this tackle, but this time Walker wins that battle. Comes down this left-hand side into the penalty area. He's got bodies across the 6-yard box if he can make it. Good shadowing there from Jake Lawler. Gets the foot in at the all-important time, and it's gone behind for a corner.
Well, it was good tracking back. It was good defensive work from Lawler, but he's looking dangerous down the left-hand side. In fact, both of Bradford Park Avenue's wingers look dangerous. Backs.
Ball comes in from the corner in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, helped away, goes down towards the touchline. Eventually Maynell gets the clearance, bounces off man, and I think the referee's pointing for a corner, so it must have just gone behind beforehand. And Nicky Boschel, I think, was just following the referee, or rather going across to take the corner, but the referee's coming across to actually have a talk with the official here. I'm not quite sure what that's for.
No, I'm not sure what the linesman's seen.
He's pointing to the corner. maybe he thought the referee possibly could have given a goal kick or had indicated a goal kick. The corner comes in anyway, in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away. Gavin Rothery gets the final touch to help it out. Only 30 yards from goal, and Avenue still have the players forward, and they have the ball. Down the right-hand side they come once again. They've got options in that box. 2 players are waiting on the edge of the penalty area. They get one shot in from distance, and it's not got any direction to it. It's gone behind and easy. I don't know if it even went out for a goal kick or if it's gone out for a throw-in. It was a pretty wayward effort.
I think you're right, it is a throw-in, but warning signs for Guiseley that if they do switch off and they do start to treat the game as one, that they can't be assured of keeping a clean sheet, and it would only take one for Park Avenue to be right back into the game, and then they would, you can bet they would chase it with everything they've got then.
Yeah, there's quality on both sides. We've got to give Avenue their dues. You know, they're a good side. They've got some good players, and they've been doing very well this season. But now Alex Johnson's picked up the ball for Guiseley, and helps the ball into Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby and Johnson just getting each other's way for a moment, but Brooksby takes over, goes in towards the edge of the area, feeds it out here towards Forrest. Forrest gets one across the face of goal. Should have been his hat-trick, but somehow couldn't direct the ball on target with the side-footed effort after he'd been put clear. He misses the target, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Well, he's scored 2 fantastic ones already tonight, and the one that should have been his hat-trick was actually, in truth, a little bit easier than either of the 2 he's already scored, but he just tried to thread it through. As you say, side-footed, just passed it into the far corner, and it's just wide of the post, but agonising, because he's deserved his hat-trick tonight. He's been the danger man for Guiseley.
The ball's headed clear here by Hall, as Guiseley now actually mount another attack here. Wayne Brooksby, who's beginning to be a real threat in this second period, plays the ball in towards Boschel, lets it go past to Forrest, and Forrest's shooting boots have completely deserted him in the last couple of minutes. It was a full conversion, wasn't it? It was way over the bar.
It was a wonderful move from Guiseley, starting out on the right, and the pass went across, and I think it was Danny Boschel, was it, who left it. Obviously got the call from Danny Forrest behind him, let it go to Forrest, and Forrest had time, and he's got it right in the middle of goal, but unfortunately about 20 yards over the crossbar.
You'd expect Avenue to change it, because at the moment they're getting pulled open again here. Forrest just helping the ball into Alex Johnson. Johnson having to go away from goal, out to the touchline, lays it back to Forrest. Forrest takes it past one man, lays it into the feet of Rothery. Rothery turns one, goes down to the ground, is given the free kick. He complains that Price did stop him, as he just seemed to turn to create a shooting opportunity.
Yeah, definite foul. He was turning onto his right foot on the edge of the area, and the Park Avenue defender just wasn't interested in letting him take a shot on his right.
This is about 10 yards from the edge of the D, fairly central to the goal. It's a good opportunity for a shot. Andy Holdsworth, who scored 2 last New Year's Day here in a 2-1 victory over Avenue, scored one from just about this range, and he's standing over this one now. He's got a 6-man wall, I think, in front of him. And John Lamb doesn't have any players on the post. The referee blows the whistle. Holdsworth it is who steps up, drives it down low. Great save from Lamb at the post, and manages to just push it away from danger. And then it's gone behind for a goal kick in the end, as Guiseley try to get the ball back in the area. Yeah,
good save by Lamb. It took a deflection in the wall, and meant it was going much further across to Lamb's right than it would have originally. But he got over well and made the save, and that keeps Park Avenue in with a chance.
Well, you might expect some changes at some point, but at the moment Avenue are sticking with the 11 that started this game and that find themselves 2 goals down. Guiseley, no sense of any change at the moment either. We'd had thought that Craig Hobson might have been introduced at some point. There's a little bit of action now on the bench for Avenue, but they have the ball down the right-hand side, not making much headway at the moment. And indeed, Gavin Rothery steps across and wins it and starts a surging run forward into the Avenue half. He feels he's pulled back, but referee disagrees, and then Guiseley gets the advantage because a rather weak clearance. It's gone out for a throw-in to Guiseley, and there is going to be a substitute. And it's going to be Jamie Price, I think, who's coming off for Avenue, and they're going to introduce Tom Corner, who is a real threat as well, another player who can score goals. So they've got to do what they can, really, to get themselves back in the game. And Guiseley, at the moment, Guys, you have the advantage.
Well, Park Avenue have got to do something, haven't they? At the moment, in the last few minutes, it's looked like they're in danger of getting overrun at the back, and 2-0 down already. They have to do something to try and get back into this game.
And it could have been 3. Now, guys, he maybe have a chance to get a third, but the ball goes into the area. Really well watched out here by Avenue, and they help the ball over the halfway line before it's picked up nicely here by Jake Lawler. Lawler lays the ball in towards Danny Boschel, picked up by Rothery. Help back into Alex Johnson, and then Guiseley still come forward, still 30 yards from goal, but it's with Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby tries to take past one man, he's taken down, and it's going to be another free kick to Guiseley, some distance from goal, and another yellow card for Avenue, and I think this time it's James Knowles who was the man who made the tackle, and who will go into the book just moments after making a very good clearance.
A bit like the one Danny Hall got in the first half. That was just an example of a player coming onto a defender with just too much pace and going past them and ending up having to concede the foul, really.
In a way, you think it's the outcome that Wayne Brooksby probably was looking for, as in the first half, wanting the free kick because players were ahead of him and he was unlikely to beat them all. But Guiseley have a great chance here to hit the target. It's again similar to the previous free kick, a few yards out from the D. And this time Brooksby and Holdsworth stand over.
There's a conversation going on between captain and winger here, I think. We'll see if seniority or attacking endeavour wins.
4-man wall. Nobody on the line once again. Brooksby and Holdsworth both standing over it. Not quite sure who's going to take it. Brooksby takes it this time. A great shot from distance. Just goes wide of the upright. He clipped it well, but it was just going wide in the end, and John Lamb was stood on his line. I think he arguably thought that it was going wide, never made any effort to claim it, but a good free kick there from Brooksby.
Yeah, we see so many free kicks that just disappointingly go straight into the wall and never look like doing anything. And guys, they've had a couple now where they've beaten the wall and not been far away from being on target. And
good header there from corner from the goal kick. Now gives Avenue a chance to attack, and it was a good shot from distance there. Alex Davison, a real drive, a good 20 yards from goal. Was low, and Stephen Drench had to watch it because the ball moves a lot inside that penalty area on the ground, and he claims it well.
Yeah, he couldn't hold it at the first attempt, but I'll tell you what, following in, there were 3 Guiseley players around him shielding the ball almost as soon as the ball reached him the first time, and no way that an Avenue striker could get in with a sniff on the keeper there.
And now Avenue come forward once again down the right flank with Howarth. Feeds it in towards Marshall. Marshall's just muscled off the ball, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Well shadowed out there by Ben Parker. And that threat is lost, and Parker leaves it for Stephen Drench to trundle across, just to eat up the seconds. And when you leave the ball in the corner here at the Horsefall, it takes a while actually to go back and get it.
Yeah, they need an army of volunteer ball boys here, don't they, rather than the 2 or 3 they have. They need...
Oh, they have a great number of ball boys actually at weekends when you have a weekend fixture here.
Okay.
Yeah, they're well looked after.
I'm used to being here in the dark and in the winter. I always seem to come here in the winter, and it always seems to be dark. And yeah, we do get these long pauses in play where the ball goes out of one corner, and some poor lad's got to run 50, 60 yards to go and fetch it back for the keeper.
At the moment, Guiseley have the throw, and just inside the Avenue half. Still no changes looking to be indicated from the fact that everyone sat down on the bench. The ball laid forward down the left-hand side, picked up here by Lawler, helped forward and tackled and picked up now by Alex Davison, who comes over the halfway line as Avenue start to attack with a bit more threat, a bit more intent. Picked up now by Danny Forrest inside his own half. If he can get the ball out to Wayne Brooksby, he's in good position on the right-hand side, but Forrest keeps going down on his own. Then plays the ball into Brooksby, into the area. Brooksby goes down and earns the free kick, earns the penalty kick. And I have to say, a very controversial penalty. Knowles stood across him. Brooksby goes down. Penalty to Guiseley.
That's an interesting one. I thought it was a clear penalty myself. I can only call it as I see it. I mean, he did what he did. Brooksby was he looked like he had the chance to square the ball, to cross it along the ground first time, and he took 2 touches, one to his left to move past the first player, and then again to his right to cut back out to look at crossing again. And as he did, I think there was a trailing leg. I don't know. I can't hear the sound in the ground to know what the fans think of that. But my view was it looked like he'd been fouled.
Penalty to Guiseley, and it's a chance for a 3rd goal this evening. The penalty is taken. It's blasted into the right-hand side, and there's no repeat of Saturday's miss for Gavin Rothery, who makes it Bradford Park Avenue 0, Guiseley 3.
Well, you could see what that meant to Gavin Rothery. He charged in and hammered that into the net a second time. I think he was really upset with the one on Saturday. I heard in the stand, I think his granddad was saying that was the first penalty Gav had ever missed. So obviously keen to step straight back up and get another chance to make amends for it. And there was no harm done on Saturday, and today it's the icing on the cake for what's turning into quite a comfortable win away from home.
You wouldn't have predicted this. You certainly wouldn't have predicted a kick-off. And at the moment, Guiseley are pulling Bradford Park Avenue apart this evening. They're 3-0 up. And we have 20 minutes to go in this game. I'll tell you what I thought about the penalty when we get a break in play, and exactly where I was coming from. But at the moment, Avenue just have the ball inside Guiseley territory. They're lay out to the left-hand side here with Paul Walker. Walker comes down this left flank once again. He's shadowed by Brooksby and Holdsworth. Still keeps hold of the ball, tries to get it into the area, does well, finds Hot, goes down to the touchline. Guiseley defending in good numbers, and eventually Brooksby has enough of a touch on it to prevent it going from the corner, and does really well actually just to make sure it goes out for a throw-in instead. It means that Avenue have a throw just up from this left corner flag. Back to Boschel. 1-2 between Boschel and Jordan Deasy. The ball into the area, cleared well by Jake Lawler, only as far as Knowles. Knowles sprays a really good ball into the area, well headed away by Rhys Maynell. Only as far as the 18-yard box, where Hot looks for the second ball, headed away by Holdsworth, only as far as Knowles. Knowles comes forward, beats one man, takes a shot from distance, a great shot from distance at one. A real drive, well held though by Stephen Drench. Watch that all the way, it curled just in front of him, but he collects and shows a very safe pair of hands.
Sign of the confident form that Stephen Drench is in now, that he was happy to catch that with both hands, and knowing it just had a little bit too much heat, and he may have ended up falling back into the goal with it. Confident enough to sort of drop it down in front of himself and grab it again, and far too quickly for anyone to follow in on.
Paul Walker has the ball now for Avenue down the left-hand side. They're coming forward with more intent now in the second half, and have won the free kick, which they've taken quickly. Walker's free, plays the ball in towards Boschel. Boschel gets it across the face of goal, helped away up to the edge of the centre circle, helped back on by Clayton, only as far as Gavin Rothery. Rothery lays it back into Brooksby. Brooksby sends it towards Alex Johnson, nowhere near enough for him to get onto, and so it comes back once again from Avenue, who are really building up a head of steam as they try to get some way back in this game. Played in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Stephen Drench steps across, comes out, plays a sweeper roll, clips the ball up in the air a couple of times with his feet and launches it into the stands.
Yeah, speaking of confident form, the keeper who comes off his line plays 2 kick-ups and then makes the clearance, all with 2 strikers around him. But he never looked in any doubt. I mean, it's heart in mouth if it's 0-0 or the game's a little bit closer. But at 3-0, it's almost comical.
It's a sign of the confidence, though, isn't it? Because earlier on in the season, whenever he get the ball at his feet, things weren't working out well. Now he looks so confident, and Guiseley now have the ball down the right-hand side here with Brooksby. Brooksby's got it just down that right touchline, goes down towards the goal line, lays it back here to Andy Holdsworth. Holdsworth has options in the box, a little dink square to Gavin Rothery, back out here towards Brooksby. Brooksby keeps the ball live and in touch, lays it back here to Andy Holdsworth. Holdsworth and Rothery combine well. Holdsworth goes towards the edge of the area, just over hits it, gives Clayton a chance to tidy things up, and he does. And it's launched out for a throw-in. Rhys Maynell lays it forward into the feet of Johnson, but it's robbed, and now it's a chance here for Bradford Park Avenue to come over the halfway line. A little chip forward now by Davison down to this right-hand side, and Guiseley now have to defend. His corner gets the ball into the area, and it's just gone across the face of goal, far as Nicky Boschel. He tries to return the ball back into the area. It takes a deflection. It's gone behind for a corner.
In the last few minutes, BPA have shown that they can be really dangerous, particularly on the break when they've got bodies streaming forward. And I guess the only question is, why weren't they doing this sooner in the game? Because they look to have Guiseley under all sorts of pressure and rushing.
Corner comes in, up towards the back post, headed away well by Jake Lawler. His presence in the air vital in that instance. And then the ball returned by Alex Davison, helped in towards the penalty area. And Stephen Drench stops it going out, or tried to stop it going out for a corner. But the referee's assistant on that far side indicates it is going to be another Park Avenue corner. Just noticing, of course, Davison actually comes forward from the back. He's actually involved in any of the corner kicks. He's acting as a defender. There is going to be another Guiseley. There is going to be the first Guiseley substitute, another substitute, but the first for the Lions. It's going to be a corner though, first for Avenue, and they get the ball into the area, and it's somehow cleared off the line. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but a header came in from the edge of the 6-yard box and then lofted off the line and behind for another corner. Guiseley really living by their nerves at the moment as Avenue really pile on the pressure. Back in again, once again. Stephen Drench just swipes an arm at it. Another corner to Avenue, and they really are pressing.
Well, you've got 18, 19 bodies in the box, all clustered around the 6-yard line at once.
The ball sweeps in once again onto the edge of that 6-yard box, blattered somehow away by Guiseley, but only as far as Davison. He chips one in, this time looking to release a goal-scoring opportunity, but in the end he's actually overhit that one. It's gone behind for a goal kick. And time for the substitute, and it'll be no surprise the change in the end. But it's going to be Craig Hobson. And he's going to make way and replace Alex Johnson, who has worked his socks off this evening, Nick.
And we seem to say that every time he gets substituted around this stage of the game, that he runs himself into the ground. He gets himself into physical challenges and tussles with people left, right and centre. But He's earned. Sorry, we're just trying to multitask there. We've just got a celebrity tweet. I think that's what you were showing me there, which is nice. No, I was just going to say, Alex Johnson. He works so hard, and I'm sure he could go for 90 minutes. But we reached this stage in the game where Mark Bauer's preferred tactic seems to be to bring on the tall Hobson ahead of Louis Swain, and sort of start using him for some knockdowns and holding the ball up a little bit more.
Well, Avenue have the throw, and it's taken down this right-hand side, and they come forward once again, really backs against the wall stuff from Guiseley in the last few minutes, because Avenue have really been pressing hard, and Guiseley defending deep, and so far defending effectively, even if it's been a little bit last-ditch in the last few minutes. But they are 3-0 to the good, and it's a chance here for Avenue once again to get Nicky Boschel away down the left-hand side, finds Paul Walker. Paul Walker tries to get the ball into the area, but it's well blocked there by Andy Holdsworth. Here with Walker. Walker with a little throw into the feet of Boschel. Well shadowed here by Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby does well to clear in right-back position, plays it up towards Hobson. Hobson got a lot of work to do there to take the ball away from Price, but Knowles rather, and does well. Then launches it forward up towards the Avenue goal area, and they can clear and send it back into the Guiseley half. It's picked up here by Rothery, and now corner, I think it is, who's on the ball down this right-hand side. Can't keep the ball in touch, and it's gone out for a goal kick, throw-in.
The problem Guiseley had that time on the break was that Hobson had come back far deeper than Alex Johnson has done at any point in the game, and it meant that Danny Boschel, of all people, was playing the lone forward role up there by himself, and didn't quite work out the way it has been doing. So I think Hobson, it was good endeavour to come back and track back, but I think Guiseley need him further forward, otherwise they're gonna carry on finding Avenue pouring on them as they have been.
Yeah, and at the moment, the tempo and the pattern of play is all in Avenue's favour. And it's another throw-in. Chance for us just to mention our celebrity tweeter, Nick.
Yeah, Jack Ray's listening tonight. In fact, actually, Jack, if you can, send us an official ruling on the pronunciation of your name, because no one seems quite sure. Danny Ellis says it's Ray. We've been using Rhea and Ree and all sorts of bizarre combinations. So let us know the right answer. But thanks for listening. Thanks for your feedback. Much appreciated. It's good to know you're listening. Hope you're fit and ready to take part again soon.
Throw in now for Guiseley. They've got the ball into the bottom left-hand part of the pitch. Like you say, up 3-0 up and playing well on a bad pitch, you know. Says need to get the clean sheet and get the job done, and I completely agree with that. Another clean sheet would be tremendous result out of this game.
Yeah, and it's something we suggested at the start might not be that likely with Adam Lockwood out and Jack out, and from the team that's been playing so well, such an uninterrupted lineup that's been turning out for each game in this run of fantastic results. But it's carried on by the looks of it in their absence tonight, which is really heartening from a Guiseley point of view to know there's players who can just come in and carry on.
Well, it's been tidied up by Guiseley once again. They had the ball in the Avenue half, and at the moment, just the thing that was needed, really, just to take Avenue back into their own half and stop this momentum that they'd built up from continuing. And they're just trying to work an opening down the left-hand side. And Guiseley now have to defend because a great tackle from Jake Lawler actually has to stop Paul Walker in his tracks. It was a really good tackle in midfield, and it gives Guiseley a chance to build up a counter-attack here. Brooksby chips one forward, looking for Holdsworth, who's come forward from right back, down the right-hand side. Plays it into Brooksby. Brooksby's taken down, and quite rightly a free kick to Guiseley. Really good work by Andy Holdsworth, cutting inside onto his left and going between two players. Unfortunately, when he left the ball for Wayne Brooksby, those two players then just kind of closed on him and came from either side and clattered him down quite heavily. Well, I don't know who is deemed to be the perpetrator. James Knowles it is, and I don't know if the referee's going to just have a chat. Hott is coming across, so I think it's the captain having a chat with the player who's on the yellow card, and I think he'll be doing the absolutely no more motion any minute that all referees do now. Well,
there was nothing in there that I thought was worthy of a yellow card, much less a second yellow. So I think the referee's just reminding him that he's on precarious thin ice.
So we just wait because the referee's just having a chat still with Knowles. I don't know if there's a substitute or something happening on the far side, but Guiseley seem to be warming up Michael Potts, I believe, on the far side, but that won't happen before the free kick. Danny Boschel takes into the feet of Brooksby. Brooksby just shows Jordan Deasy a clean pair of heels. He's blocked by Danny Boschel, by Nicky Boschel, and then stops when he could have got the return ball. Free kick now this time. It was a high foot there. Is that Reece Maynell who's down?
I think it is, and it was a high challenge by Davidson just after Brooksby had needlessly got into a bit of afters with the player who had fouled him. But that was a nasty challenge on Maynell. I doubt it was intended, but it was a rotten high studs one, and hopefully Reece will be all right. He's still down on the ground.
Yeah, it's not good, but there is going to be a substitution rather for Avenue. Not surprisingly, James Knowles, who's already in a yellow card and just had a talking to from the referee, he's going to be replaced by Scott Maxfield. And we're going to see Michael Potts on in a minute, but I think they might just wait to see what's happening here with Reece Maynell, who's still down at the moment, receiving treatment.
Well, I would have guessed it would be Danny Boschel, who is the other midfielder who would have played two full 90 minutes in 3 days. I would have guessed he would be the man to come off for Potts.
Well,
and in fact it is. There we go. Okay, and Reece Maynell looks like he's up on his feet. He's just trotting over to the far touchline in front of the Ronnie Bottomley stand, and so presumably he'll be okay to continue, and Guiseley are okay to make the straight swap in midfield.
Yeah, and that's a relief to see Reece Maynell up and moving quite comfortably. And Potts comes on, and he's a player who's had plenty of good performances in a Guiseley shirt this season. Even at the time when we were struggling, I thought Potts was one of the players that shined through. So good to see him continue to get his chances in the first team. Takes the ball immediately from the free kick and tries to feed in Hobson. Gets the return ball back into the feet of Maynell. Taken down here well by Rothery. Rothery starts a run. Sends it out to the left-hand side. Picked up by Forrest. Forrest back to Rothery on the edge of the 18-yard box. Twists past one, goes into the area. Very difficult to keep the ball at his feet, but he does well. Goes past two, gets a shot across the 6-yard box. The foot of John Lamb sends the ball clear in the end, only as far as Brooksby. Brooksby onto the edge of the 18-yard box. Goes past one man, gets it into the 6-yard box, helps it across the face of goal. And in the end, it rolls across. And Guiseley can clear with Bradford Park Avenue can clear with Paul Walker, but only as far as Andy Holdsworth, taken down here by Potts. Potts has options limited because he's covered by 3 players, but still the ball helped out to Andy Holdsworth and then eventually cleared, and it's going to be a Guiseley throw-in inside the Avenue half.
Yeah, the chance we just saw, Hobson just went a little bit too soon, and Brooksby was making his way all the way down to the goal line, and he would have just tapped it across goal. And by the time he did so, there was nobody left in a yellow shirt just to tap it in from 2 yards out. And Hobson had just come across towards Brooksby just a split second too soon, and it ended up missing him. Did the pass.
Well, if you're just joining us here on Guiseley AFC Radio, it is Park Avenue 0, Guiseley 3. And there's been 2 for Danny Forrest and a penalty for Gavin Rothery. There's another substitute, makes his way off the pitch and onto the pitch, and it's Charlie Clamper who's come on for Alex Davison. And now for Guiseley, Gavin Rothery's going off. And I'm not quite sure who's
looks like Louis
coming
Swain.
on. Is that Louis Swain? We can't quite tell from here, and their number hasn't gone up yet. I think it is Louis Swain. Since the options are Kyle Harrison or Steve Dickinson,
yeah,
I think it's likely to be Louis Swain, unless Mark Bowers got a rather unusual tactic up his sleeve.
Yeah, it'd be a bit controversial putting a 40-year-old goalkeeper on up front at this stage. Be a bit of an insult with another game to come on Saturday against this team. So yeah, let's stick with the players that fit in the positions.
You never know; it could have been a master stroke of mind games. Andy Holdsworth. That's why I'll never be a manager.
Me neither.
Into the feet of Craig Hobson. Cleared well by Avenue. Once again, they're having to get down this left channel with Walker. Walker does well, plays it into Marshall. Marshall just can't get the return ball because he's shadowed so effectively by Ben Parker. The ball held back to Stephen Drench, and he launches it forward, and then Hobson's surely fouled, but the referee plays an advantage, and Swain is through on goal. He's got only one man to beat, and the shot that he takes finds that man, and it bounces off him and into the feet of Danny Forrest, who's down on the left-hand side, but the momentum's gone out of the attack. Guiseley now just holding the ball in midfield with Potts. Potts just rides one tackle, but the late challenge from the first one means it's going to be a free kick. He was clipped, wasn't he, Nick?
He was twice, actually. I think the referee let the first one go, and then the second one was a foul as well, but going back to Louis Swain, he's got a good shot on him, hasn't he, with his left foot, and the defender did well to charge him down, but he always looks dangerous when he's on the edge of the box on his left in a bit of space.
Howarth it was who did so well. Now the ball laid off from Brooksby into the feet of Hobson. Hobson can't get past his man, and Guiseley now have to defend because Park Avenue come forward with some conviction. A long ball looking to pick out Tom Corner. Just doesn't make its way through to him. Guiseley defend well and now in command with the ball.
It was a fantastic interception actually by Danny Hall. It was just perfectly timed to step forward and take the ball away, snuff the move out.
Now Guiseley try to win this with Hobson inside Bradford Park Avenue territory, but they've cleared. And now they come forward here with Nicky Boschel, just on the edge of the centre circle, out to the right-hand side. They have got a few options actually inside the penalty box. It's well cleared here by Jake Lawler up to the halfway line. But again, Guiseley retain possession with Boschel. Trying to feed the ball through to Hobson. Took a bit of a knock a couple of minutes ago. Didn't look too mobile in looking for that. I wonder if he's struggling now. Guiseley have used all their substitutes. The ball goes forward up towards Hobson. Takes it down on his chest well. Lays it off this time. And a chance here for Brooksby to come over the centre circle and come forward. You think the victory would be in the bag for Guiseley, so they're just trying to slow things down at the moment in the corner on the right-hand side. Ball played in towards Holdsworth. He tries to feed it into Hobson. The ball's taken away from him, and Avenue concede a corner because as the ball rolled through for Swain, Howarth was there ahead of him, but just couldn't keep the ball in play, and Guiseley now have a corner down on the right-hand side that they probably weren't expecting to get.
No, but it's so important now that Guiseley don't let Park Avenue back into the game. Not because of the result of this game isn't any doubt, but thinking ahead to Saturday and a 3-0 defeat.
The shot come cross is driven in from Craig Hobson, and he got the ball up from the corner, came back and pelted it with the left foot, but it's well wide of the left upright, and it's behind for a goal kick. Sorry,
yeah, the 3-0 defeat is something Guiseley want Park Avenue to take away and ruminate on for the next few days, really. You know, if Park Avenue come back and get 1 or even 2 towards the end, then that will fill them with some fresh confidence for the next game between these two teams in just 5 days' time. So they want to see this out with a clean sheet, no doubt.
At the moment, they look like they're going for another goal. Howarth's just gone in for a challenge with Swain. Swain's gone down. Referee says there's nothing in that. The clearance sees touch, and it's going to be a throw into Guiseley inside their own half on the left-hand side, just a couple of yards in. As we head into the 45th minute of the second half, Guiseley leading by 3-0 here, with 2 added minutes to be put onto this game. But there's a chance here for Avenue just to make a opportunity here with Paul Walker. Goes towards the edge of the 18-yard box, tries to lay the ball across to the right-hand side. He's beaten to it, and it's well cleared. And now it's a chance for a counter-attack here from Wayne Brooksby, but Brooksby has a heavy touch. To be fair, the ball just bobbled up in front of him, and just a sign of the difficult conditions under the pitch as the Avenue man tried to clear. Laid into Paul Walker, it just bobbled over his foot and out into touch.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, but that's been what Wayne Brooksby in particular and Gavin Rothery to a certain extent, and Danny Forrest as well, have been having to deal with all night, is that when they want to run with the ball, it's very, very difficult to keep it under control with the surface so unpredictable.
The throw's taken, Andy Holdsworth collects. Plays it in towards Hobson. Hobson takes it down, back to goal, just trying to hold on to this ball. Takes a clip, earns his side a free kick. Jordan Deasy, who was the man guilty on that occasion. Now, do Guiseley take a shot? No, they don't. Holdsworth takes it quick, but into Potts, and then square to Hobson. Hobson sprays it out to the left-hand side. Danny Forrest has got a chase to try and just keep that into touch. So, not possession football in the end. It's gone out for a throw.
Just going back to what you were saying about Michael Potts when he came on, I do think he's unlucky. He's not the only one who's been a little bit unlucky. Andy Holdsworth, obviously, we know, I think probably prefers to play in midfield nowadays. But what we have had since Danny Boschel came back, and I don't mind repeating it, even though we know he's listening. But since Danny Boschel came back, he and Jack Ray have been a really good combination in the 4-2-3-1 formation, and it's just worked very well. And it's meant that Potts hasn't had a chance, and it's meant that Holdsworth's playing it right back, where he's been excellent actually throughout this run, but sometimes you just got to stick with what's working, haven't you?
Well, the ball's just gone out into touch, and it's a chance here for Guiseley just to eat up the final seconds of this game. By my reckoning, just half a minute or so of stoppage will be played, and Guiseley are leading by 3-0 here, and 3 valuable points in this incredible performance and incredible drive up the table, and yet another clean sheet because the referee has blown the final whistle. It's been another impressive performance from the Lions. Danny Forrest got it underway after just 3 minutes. Cut in on the left-hand side into the penalty area, took a drive with the right boot, curled around the goalkeeper, John Lamb, gave him no chance, set Guiseley on their way. Avenue attacked and threatened and pressed, and from corners were particularly dangerous, in-swinging corners that were very difficult for Stephen Drench to claim inside the 6-yard box. But in the second half, they got the all-important break. An absolutely wonderful strike from Danny Forrest. Collected the ball on the edge of the area, blasted it with power into the roof of the net from the edge of the area, giving John Lamb no chance once again. And then Wayne Brooksby went down in the area, earned himself a penalty under a challenge from James Knowles. Gavin Rothery took the duties, not shirking them after Saturday's penalty save. He blasted the ball into the bottom right-hand corner and gave all 3 points. And it could have been more, because Danny Forrest had 2 golden chances to claim his hat-trick, which he just couldn't convert. But in the end, a comprehensive victory here for the Lions. It is Bradford Park Avenue 0, Guiseley 3.
Oh, and a perfect night it's turned out to be for Guiseley. In the end, 405 was the attendance, and you've got to think about 100 or so of them were Guiseley fans over on this side of the ground, and it just shows, we were saying before the game, that this was another good measure, another good indicator of how much Guiseley had improved. And Guiseley weren't at their best today, and Bradford Park Avenue weren't terrible either, and we've still come away with a 3-0 win, a comfortable win and another clean sheet. And what that says to me is that this team doesn't panic under pressure. They don't fall apart. When that first half was very even for long periods of time, but the defence, such as it was, with a left back playing in the centre, was still very organised, very calm and composed. Never really looked flustered, even when they were under pressure, and they took enough chances to get quite a comfortable win in the end, and that gives them every reason to be confident again. Looking at the FA Trophy game on Saturday, let's just hope. I'm sure. Mark Bauer won't allow this, but let's just hope there's not too much confidence going into Saturday, because that's a big tie for the club, and there's the lucrative opportunities that come with going to the next round of the FA Trophy, and let's hope they go out and do the same job again, because they've demoralised them, they've put them down, and then on Saturday they need to put their local rivals out for the count, I think.
Yeah, that's a really good point, isn't it? Because we have turned from confidence being a crisis issue at the club to potentially from this result, which was a big test for tonight, a big test because players were injured and they've responded well on a Monday night after a big game on the Saturday on a difficult surface with a comprehensive victory. Could the next risk really be that confidence turns to complacency?
Well, Mark Bauer seems a very level-headed bloke to us. When we speak to him, he doesn't get carried away in the face of either victory or defeat when he speaks to us, at least. And he needs to bring some of that kind of measured approach to bear on some of these lads who will be, understandably, really, really buoyed by the result tonight and the performance, the way they've come away from home to a local neighbour where there's a good rivalry. Obviously, don't forget they've beaten us twice already this season, so they have every reason to celebrate following tonight. And but it's Mark's job now to settle them down and say you've got to start from scratch at 0-0 on Saturday and do that all over again.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we've got to do as well. We'll be back on Saturday at Nethermore for full live commentary, but of course you're only excused from coming down to the ground if you've got a very, very good reason. But if you have, tune in to us, because we'll be with you all the way, and hopefully we can repeat the performance that the Lions have put in this evening here. But from us, we'll leave you for now, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.